They say you never know your neighbors until trouble knocks. For 5 years, I lived 2 doors down from a family that wore their privilege like a crown. The son, a brash young man named Tyler, strutted through our suburban enclave as if he owned every manicured lawn. His mother, Evelyn, was the self-appointed queen of the neighborhood, her every word laced with condescension. To them, I was just Marcus, the quiet black man who didn't belong in their pristine world. Little did they know, I was the chief of police, and one cold night in a convenience store, their world would unravel. It was a Tuesday, the kind of night where the air felt heavy with secrets. I'd just finished a grueling 14-hour shift at the precinct, navigating city council politics and officer disputes. My badge was tucked under my gray hoodie, my uniform left behind. I was just a tired man in jeans, grabbing milk and bread at the 24-hour Quick Mart on Elm Street. The store smelled of stale coffee and disinfectant, its fluorescent lights buzzing like a distant swarm of bees. As I rounded the dairy aisle, I spotted Tyler. He was loud, slurring insults at the cashier, a nervous kid named Ethan, barely 19. Tyler, flanked by 2 friends, was waving an expired ID, demanding beer. "Do you know who my mom is?" he sneered. "She could buy this dump and fire you." Ethan stood firm, but his eyes betrayed fear. I sighed, tempted to leave, but something in Ethan's expression, raw, powerless, stopped me. I'd seen that look too many times in my 22 years as a cop. I placed my items on the counter, nodding to Ethan. "Evening," I said, my voice low. Tyler's gaze snapped to me, his bloodshot eyes raking over my clothes. A smirk curled his lips. "Look who's here," he slurred, loud enough for the store to hear. "The help. Didn't know they let you out at night." His friend snickered. The other customer's a weary mom with a toddler, an elderly man with a newspaper froze, their eyes darting between us. Anger flared in my chest, but I swallowed it. My training was my shield. "Just these," I told Ethan, ignoring Tyler. But Tyler craved conflict. He stepped closer, reeking of beer and cologne. "Yo," he growled, "hand over your wallet. I'm buying drinks. You got cash, right?" The demand was absurd, delivered with the arrogance of someone who'd never heard no. His smirk widened, mistaking my silence for weakness. The store went quiet, the hum of the refrigerators fading. I felt every eye on me. This wasn't just a drunk kid. This was years of slurs, HOA complaints, and Evelyn's dismissive smirks. I turned slowly, meeting Tyler's gaze. "I don't think so," I said, my voice steady. "Threatening someone for their property is robbery. That's a crime." Tyler laughed, a harsh bark. "Robbery? What are you gonna do, snitch?" He jabbed a finger toward my chest. "This is my town. You're just living in it. Pay up, or we got a problem." His words dripped with entitlement, the unspoken claim that I didn't belong. His friends shifted nervously, sensing the line he'd crossed. "You're making a mistake," I said, my tone hardening. "You're harassing Ethan and intimidating a customer. Leave, or keep going down this path." "Tyler's path? I'll show you a path." He lunged for my pocket. That was it, attempted robbery in motion. In one fluid move, I pivoted, grabbing his wrist with a grip honed by years on the street. He stumbled, eyes widening in shock. "Let go," he snarled, yanking against my hold. "You might want to rethink that," I said, calm but unyielding. His rage boiled over. "What? You gonna call your boys? No one's taking your word over mine." I took a breath, then reached under my hoodie, pulling out my badge. The silver star glinted under the lights. "Actually," I said, "I'm the police chief." The words hit like a thunderclap. Tyler's smirk vanished, his face paling. His friends froze. Ethan's jaw dropped. I flipped open my ID wallet, showing it to the room. "You just threatened an officer. That's a felony." Tyler scoffed, desperate to cling to his bravado. "Yeah, right? Nice try, old man." But his voice trembled. I held his wrist, letting him feel the weight of his mistake. "It's not a try," I said. Releasing him, I watched him stumble into a chip display, bags scattering. His friends backed away, hands up, as if to say, "Not our fight." I called the precinct, requesting a patrol car. This is Chief Marcus. I've got a suspect for attempted robbery and threatening an officer. As I spoke, Ethan found his voice. Sir, I saw it all. He was drunk, abusive, and demanded your wallet. I nodded. Thanks, Ethan. You did good. Tyler's mother, Evelyn, arrived like a storm. Her SUV screeched to a halt, and she marched in, a whirlwind of fury. Take those cuffs off my son, she shrieked, pointing at me. You've been harassing us since you moved here with your loud music. This is a racially motivated attack. Her performance was stunning, deflecting blame with practiced ease. I held up a small evidence bag. A brass key, marked 1138, had fallen from Tyler's pocket. Ma'am, I said, we're investigating a robbery, but this key suggests more. Her eyes flickered with fear before she masked it. You'll hear from our lawyer, she hissed, storming off. At the precinct, Tyler's arrogance crumbled under interrogation. Detective Sarah pressed him about the key. It fell from your pocket, she said. Your mom seemed to know it. Tyler's bravado shattered. It wasn't my idea, he sobbed. Mom said we had to keep it safe insurance from Grandpa's files. A warrant led us to a storage unit, number 1138. Inside, we found filing cabinets and boxes filled with blackmail material, forged surveys, canceled checks, photos of officials in compromising situations. One box revealed the lakefront towers scandal condos built on unstable land, approved through fraud. This wasn't just corruption. It was a ticking disaster endangering hundreds. The investigation exploded. The district attorney convened a grand jury, issuing 40 indictments. Tyler took a plea deal, testifying against Evelyn. She faced racketeering and fraud charges. The mayor, linked to illegal funds, resigned. Council members fell like dominoes. In a packed community meeting, I faced the town. This started with one arrogant act, I said, but uncovered a sickness poisoning our city. I detailed the crimes, promising justice. Evelyn and Tyler sat in the back, defeated. The crowd listened, some angry, some relieved. As people left, an elderly man newspaper reader from that night shook my hand. You stood up for us all, he said. I nodded, thinking of the years of slurs, the quiet resolve that led here. Tyler's racist taunt had handed me the key to his family's empire, and I'd used it to bring them down. Justice isn't loud. It's meticulous, relentless. One arrogant kid, blind with privilege, thought he could take my wallet. Instead, he gave me the tools to dismantle his world. What do you think? Should Tyler have faced harsher consequences, or was his plea deal fair? How would you handle injustice in your community? Share your thoughts in the comments. Would love to hear your perspective on privilege, corruption, and standing up for what's right.